I know you have a lot of places you can spend your time, and for you to take time to spend it with us and working on your business instead of in your business, I greatly appreciate it. As Kathy mentioned, today we're going to be talking about websites. I know there's a lot of questions and so forth that business owners have when it comes to websites. I have the pleasure, and also kind of it saddens me sometimes, of being able to listen to everybody's stories continuously. And I can't tell you how many times a day I get on the phone with somebody who's really frustrated with the fact that they've been sold a bill of goods and weren't properly disclosed on the do's and don'ts, pros and cons, and so forth of all of the different decisions that they have. And so really today the goal is to provide you with enough information. It can make you a better questions asker, so you can get better answers, to give you enough information, not so you can develop websites, but so that you can make decisions better. And we're going to cover a lot of information. There's a lot of different elements of web design and development, and so hopefully I give you at least enough of the overview. There's no way I'd be able to cover everything, but give you enough information for you, like I said, be able to ask better questions and create a plan. We've all got to be constantly working on a way to improve our own presence, our own technology, our own marketing, our own lead generation, and so forth. I'll tell you what, we are about 1,000 days away from having a new set of competitors. Our children, essentially, my son, who I'm a little bit nervous about, but I hope that he doesn't decide to grow up and open up a competing web development company, because by the time he's 15 years old, his network extends much farther than myself and then most business owners. So I assume that everybody that's on this call plans on being in business in 8,000 days. And with that being said, it's time to turn it up. It's time to put those things in place that are going to allow you to be able to truly compete now, tomorrow, and in the future. This is a never-ending process. So, web design, web development, your digital marketing presence, it's not a project. This is a lifestyle. And if you choose to be in business, I promise you there are two ways that people make their buying decisions. A, via referral, B, via the internet, and they're validating their referrals online. So if you think about how you buy, if I asked you in the last year, how many times have you made a purchase from radio or television or newspaper, broadcast, billboards, a flyer, a brochure? We can go through all of your traditional media types of advertising, and my guess is that you have made, actually less than 1% of you attending this or watching the archives have made less than one purchase in an entire year based on traditional mediums for marketing. The majority of everything that we do is in these lovely little handheld devices called phones and tablets and our laptops and computers, and that's not going to lighten up any. So the goal is that we properly position yourself so that you can leverage the internet to be able to compete and to stay in business. All right, that being said, as Kathy has mentioned, we're going to do some real-life website reviews today. You can throw any website at me that you want. It can be yours. It can be a competitor's. It can be someone you admire. You really admire that website. It can be somebody that you are looking at, copying different things from that site possibly. Any site you want us to take a look at. It can be one of mine, and I'll do a absolutely upfront review. It can be any site you want to. If you're interested in having us review a site while you're on this call, maybe you're a web designer or a developer. We have a lot of marketers that attend this session, and if you're interested in having us review some work that you guys are doing and giving you just an overview and some pointers on how to be able to improve that, absolutely paste those websites, make it easy for me, but paste those websites inside your chat box, and I'll go ahead and pull those up when we get to the live website review section. All right, let me throw this out. I have a couple disclaimers. So first disclaimer is time. Today, what's the date today? I think today's April Fool's Day. I don't have any jokes for you today. I should have had something for April Fool's Day, but year is 2014, and that means anything I can and say or can and do say inside this presentation could be held against me in the future, because most likely within the next 30 days something can change, and the information that's presented in this video can be totally invalid. So I'll throw that out there. it is technology, so it's constantly changing. It's constantly changing. If you were to look back years ago, we used to build websites in tabular data using tables. If you look back years prior to that, we were building websites in Flash, and the more dings and bells and pops and whistle noises a website could make, the better. Prior to that, we were using templates. There's 101 things that used to be very popular, as is what I talk about today could quite possibly be outdated in the future. So that's disclaimer number 1. Disclaimer number 2, budget. So let's talk money, all right? Let me see if I can put this in perspective. What you should do in a web development and design project versus what you are able to do, depending on the resources you have to be able to invest, are 2 different things. So sometimes I will have business owners and speakers, especially sales professionals, that will come to me and they'll have me evaluate their website, and they're talking bad about their web people and this web this, and they did this, and they didn't do this, and they didn't do this, and I'm mad at them. I'm mad. And I asked them, great, how much did you pay? And they're like, $300. I'm like, well, you got a lot. You actually have an incredible site for the investment. So all things being relative, there are multiple elements that need to be considered when it comes to web. Every time you add another element, that element adds additional resources. So let me first start off by saying the likelihood of having one sole individual be an expert at all of the elements regarding web design and development is almost impossible. And this really breaks more down into personality styles. If you think about personality styles related to the different subject matter experts in the web environment, they vary drastically. So let me go through just a few of them just to kind of put things in perspective. First and foremost, you have a developer. Those of you that know developers quite possibly may see them in torn jeans and Birkenstocks or flip-flops and a t-shirt. They probably have a can of Red Bull or a Heineken and some techno music playing in the background. Their idea of a night out is a Friday night on IRC with their 300 friends on an internet relay channel. Maybe it's playing World of Warcraft or another online video game, or participating in a tournament. It may be that a Saturday night they spend their evening trying to figure out how to hack their neighbor's website or internet, or how to hack their bank. It's a different style of personality, okay? That's a developer. Now, those of you that know developers are totally cracking up right now because I just labeled your brother. Okay, so next one, a designer. Think about a graphics designer. This is someone with a real edgy, artistic personality. They usually dress nice. They have friends that are real people that they actually see on a Friday night. They may sit in a lounge and have cocktails with friends and so forth. But a designer is a very creative personality type. And to them, a coder and a coder's job looks boring, extremely boring. They could never see themselves doing that. So let's go through the next element. A content writer. For those of you that have been on our last 4 series, we've had Tammy Kling, who is our author and content writer, our ghost blogger, and so forth for many of our clients and myself. And Tammy, her personality type, she's an analytical thinker. She's engaging, very personable, extremely outgoing, also outdoorsy and so forth. So from a personality type, she's got to be able to communicate, have excellent communication, one-on-one, in a group, in an audience, and so forth. Typically, they're also going to be decent speakers as well. Now let's go into next, an SEO engineer. For those of you that know an engineer, you're talking about an individual that is a processor. They think slower, they analyze data and numbers, and they crunch information. They're going to move slower through a project because they have to do their research. They're not going to make quick decisions because the research doesn't give them the data to be able to do so. That's an SEO engineer. Now let's move into our social media junkies. Our social media people typically are going to be friends with anybody. Sometimes the gayer the better. They are the funnest, coolest, most interactive, fun people you could imagine. Or they are complete completely recluse and they sit behind a screen and their world is other people's world in a social media environment. So you can have a couple different personality types environment. All that being said, none of these individuals have what is necessary in order to build or develop a financially valuable machine. So you have to have somebody that's a business strategist. A business strategist is going to understand operations, logistics, time, money, resources, investments, and product, services, marketplaces. They're going to understand enough about code that a coder can't BS them. They're going to understand enough about SEO that they can drive an SEO engineer to get results right now, narrow it down to something smaller so that you can start churning cash and you can start repeating that investment and making money sooner. They're also going to teach a social media person how to actually make money on social media, not just develop a large fan base of friends, fans, and followers, and treat it like a billboard or like traditional advertising. So a business strategist is going to be critical. Hopefully they also understand operations, logistics, and like I said, marketplaces and how people buy. The next individual that you've got to have on your team is a project manager. Somebody that can analyze what are the milestones, what are the associated tasks, what are the timelines with each associated task, what are the predecessors that are going to allow this project to stay on track. And all of these individuals, again, you're talking about extremely different personality types. So the day and age of hiring what we call the triple Fs, friends, family, and fools, is probably not a great way to leverage your most valuable asset. Again, people do business two ways, A, via referral, B, via the internet, and they validate referrals with the internet. So just having a replicated website or a copy site or something like that is just not enough to compete these days. You also have to think about websites more than just a marketing tool. Many business owners and I will say web development companies make the mistake of simply leveraging a website to be able to increase leads and opportunities, increase conversions, and make money. However, if you're not leveraging a website to be able to improve operational efficiencies, the likelihood of you being able to gain back the hours and minutes and time that's currently dedicated to duplicate processes, inefficiencies, replicated processes, those are all major points of how a website should assist you in gaining hours, minutes, and time that you can reallocate towards income-generating activities. I'll give you an example. If you find yourself as a sales professional answering the same question over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't figure out how can you make this website eliminate or at least significantly reduce the amount of duplicate content you're having, that messaging you're having to say over and over and over again, then on one hand, at some point the teeter-totter of the math doesn't work out. At some point, creating new leads and opportunities is not going to be your primary and sole goal, because your time is going to be spent not very wisely from an operational standpoint. So I know that was a long disclaimer. However, I wanted to make sure that those things really are taken into consideration before you go down this route. Having an advertising background is probably not a good guide for you when it comes to a web project. Having a business strategist, someone, as I mentioned, that understands operations, logistics, finance, procurement, and depending on what type of business, I know we've got some e-commerce folks that are on here. Janice, obviously you have fulfillment issues, you have tracking and invoicing and billing and packaging and shipping and so forth, inventory, and there's other things that need to fall in line with that as well. And then finally, for all of you that are in sales, a huge element of this is going to be CRM integration. How are you tracking and measuring what works, leads, and so forth? Now, that being said, I can't go through the entire 12 steps. The entire 12 steps covers all of these different elements, right? We've got step number 1, which was our first month of this year that we covered, which is strategy, coaching, and marketing. Step number 2 was our content writing segments with Tammy Kling. Step number 3, we're now into web. Step number 4, we're going to be into branding and graphics. Step 5, we're into video production. And then we're starting to move into SEO, social media, and so forth. So there's a lot to cover. So, all right. That being said, first things first, web design and web development are two different things, extremely different things. Again, these are different personality types. A web designer is going to design typically in a system called Photoshop, and they are going to produce what's called wireframes or PSD files. A web developer is going to be a coder, and they're going to work in Putty or Vim. It's going to look like the Matrix, a black screen with green text everywhere, and they are going to use command codes to navigate throughout Putty or Vim. Now, that's server-side. Those are server-side programmers. You have a second tier of developers, which are your rookies, that are cPanel users, front page, Dreamweaver, and so forth. They're not as experienced as someone that's working or operating in an application such as Vim or Putty, where they're actually a server-side coder. All right, so let's go through real quick types of websites. And I just threw out a few. I didn't put all of them on here, but I want to make sure you understand all websites are not created equal. The first things first, you have Flash. Just stop. So Flash websites, let me throw out the biggest one out there right now. I see sales professionals and business owners and small and mid-sized businesses using, and that is Wix, W-I-X. It's a free platform. I think they have like a $19. They have some very inexpensive ways to get a website up. I want to back up. If your primary sales tools are referrals, you, and your website, what I don't want to see anybody do is neglect your most powerful tool you could put into position or not do it right. So first, Flash, avoid them. Google is a big filing system. Flash doesn't have the same, so let me make sure I'm clear. Can some elements of Flash be crawled? Yes. If you were to work on a Flash website for a year or 2 years, or you would have put your investment in time and energy into a Flash website for 2 years, can you get to the same place as somebody who has a website that's properly built? The answer is no. So for you to have that much time and energy go into something that you cannot produce the same results, it's not the question of, well, can elements of Flash be optimized or crawled by Google? Yes, some elements can. Can you get the same result in the same time frame with the same amount of energy as a properly built website? And the answer to that is no. So in my book, that's a no-go. I would check that off as a don't do it. Next, templates. There's a lot of reasons that templates scare me. We have one, specifically, we had a doctor come to us recently out of California, and they were given not just a template, but a template that was replicated verbatim 100% on 3 different URLs. And actually, I'm going to flip gears. This is why I can never just play the PowerPoint presentation, because I'm all over the board. Okay, so I want to show you this really quick. I'm going to grab this link, paste, and we're going to go through and get an idea of what a template looks like. All right. Now, for those of you that are not web junkies, we have Google has some things called penalties, and penalties are oh wow, she launched a new website as of yesterday. Oh, God. Okay, so as of yesterday, or actually last week, these were 2 of the exact same websites. And the only difference was the URL. Let's check these things before I drop them in here. But not only 2, but they have 3 websites, and they were sold that each website was focused on a different location. So Joliet happened to be a specific location, and for each one of their locations, Aurora, Chicago, and Joliet, right there out of Illinois, each one of these had their own website. And each website has 100% of the same content on it. So unfortunately, what that does in Google's eyes is that is duplicate content, which Google does have pretty severe penalties for duplicate content. So template websites are scary for lots of reasons. You have not just her 3 sites, but you also have also have all of the websites that they've sold. So they didn't just sell this to one dentist. They sold this same platform to hundreds of dentists. I see this a lot in the HVAC industry, dental industry, legal industry, medical, cosmetics, and so forth. I probably have seen this definitely. First and foremost, network marketing, real estate, and mortgage. The majority of their websites are replicated sites and their templates, which is almost twice as bad. All right, so we're going to move back here. The next one is a flat site, a flat HTML site. Typically, this is going to be something that's built in Dreamweaver or Front Page. So when you're talking to someone about web design, ask them, what are you going to build my website in? And make sure that they tell you how they're going to build it. Sometimes I'll ask business owners, what was your website built in before I have a chance to go look, and they won't know. It's going to be very important you understand what your website was built in. All right, next, replicated sites. There are so many reasons to stay away from replicated sites. It's very hard to go through them all. Replicated websites. So number one, you have duplicate content issues. You have the same content site over site over site over site over site. Number two, a replicated site typically is going to also be sitting on a subdomain. A subdomain would be blank.blank.com. So it might be mary.kellerwilliams.com or kellerwilliams.com/Mary and so forth. Subdomains were originally designed for intranet sites. If you go to Google, and please do this, go Google SEO guidelines. Just search for Google SEO guidelines, and then the very first document here is Google Search Engine Optimization Starter Guide. You guys pull this up and read it. I always tell people, don't trust me because you'll trust anything anybody says, but go do the research. So Google Webmaster is definitely going to be a smarter place for somebody who really wants to dive in and learn more about it. However, Google's Search Engine Optimization Starter Guide is a great place to be able to get some basics. So it talks about SEO basics, the site structure, creating unique titles and page titles, using descriptions and meta tags, improving your site structure's URL. So, for example, Flash sites have the same URL, page over page over page. There is no site structure or URL structure, so you don't have multiple pages that are fitting inside Google's registry. I've even had people that come to us that had a Wix website built and had an SEO company that sold them $500 to $2,500 a month SEO services on a website that can't technically be SEO'd. So optimizing content, making your site's navigation, offering quality content and services, anchor text, optimizing your use of images. Let me make this bigger for everyone. Hang on a second. Okay, using header tags, dealing with crawlers, making sure your site has a robots.txt follow. We had a client of ours at Columbia West College out of California, and when they came to us, their entire website, they had an SEO plan, they had a WordPress website built, and they were paying for SEO services. However, their entire website was set to no follow, no index, which is telling Google, stay away from my site, don't crawl it. So little things. If you don't have a robots.txt file, that's what Google needs in order to be able to crawl that site. If you don't have a sitemap properly indexed on your site and so forth. So SEO for mobile phones. I can't tell you how critical this is. Google is actually evaluating the search engine optimization code for websites on mobile phones. So is your website responsive? If you have a website that was built a year ago or 2 years ago, my guess is your website is not responsive, so it's time to get those changed out and get those updated. All right. Let me go back to here. So replicated sites, subdomains. If you have a company that provides you with a sales site, fantastic. They gave you a great brochure you can send your people to, but you work for your website. Your website doesn't work for you. No operational value, no sales lead generation value, and for those kind of sites that don't have an integrated blog, don't have an integrated RSS, and so forth, you lose tons of leverage tools that you can implement that are going to allow you to save a tremendous amount of time for all of your other marketing strategies, which when we get into the social media elements of it, you guys are going to be amazed what's happening in social media world and how it's integrated with your sites. All right, next, copy sites. I'm going to pull this up. I want you to see, so this is Dynamic Entertainment. This is one of the clients we're rebuilding a site for right now. I want you to look at this, and let me just throw this out here real quick. On every site, you have the ability to inspect element on that site. Let me get rid of this. All right, open this up. Okay. So in order to inspect element, just make sure you're using Google Chrome, right-click on it, and this little link right here, it says inspect element, click on that. The first thing it's going to do, it's going to pull up the code for this site. So every website is built in, well, it should be, I shouldn't say every website, but you have a header, body, and a footer. Header, body, and a footer. So we're going to open up this header. The name of this website in Google's eyes is Dynamic Entertainment, just another WordPress site. Absolutely does not help. I'm diving into SEO. I should stay away from that. But I want you to see this. This is even worse. This is technically her website and blog. However, the company that built her site, www.yourinternetmarketingsolutions or internetnetworkingsolutions.com, look at this, / Dynamic Entertainment / blog / WP content / themes. This is not even her site. This is her website is literally, this is not her site. This is his website, but he has masked, he or she has masked this domain name to make it look like it was her site. But the content is actually sitting on his website, and the entire site, it's not hers. So she purchased a website, she's made an investment, but none of what she has is hers. Now, I have seen this, gosh, let me see here, I want to say Flanders, not Flanders, let's check O'Brien, not O'Brien, it's not Hovland, give me some more HVAC.
Dirks, Deans.
Dirks, no. Deans.
Custom.
Yeah, no.
Custom Climate, Deans.
There it is. Okay, check this out. So this is an HVAC website. They bought this website, but I want you to look at this URL. So this URL, deansheating.questoffice.net. So let me go through just looking at the URL without diving into too much else that's involved in the site. These are the things that are oh no. First thing, it's sitting on a subdomain. So you can go to Dean's Heating and it's automatically going to reroute you here. So you have a forward, a 301 redirect that's sending you to a different place, not what Google wants. You have a subdomain, again, not what Google wants. And the content and the site is not actually, the actual website belongs to this questoffice.net. And in addition to that, pages are labeled 09, and we're getting into SEO, but 09 pages, page about. Think about Google as this big filing system. What you label this page in the / is what Google is going to categorize your website by. And there's a lot more to it. Of course, you've got to have your page title and your H1 tags and your H2 tags and your meta description and so forth. However, this is first and foremost. Your permalink structure is the #1 thing that Google is looking at. If you want to be found, and this happens frequently, someone will call and they'll say, well, I'm not on page 1 of Google for blank. And I'll go, great. How many pages do you have on your website titled blank? None. It's a filing system. So if we can't file this, and no matter what, this actually almost everything you could do wrong is they nailed it on this site for lots of different reasons. All right, so let me move back. I did that because I wanted you to see a lot of times when you get into bad web practices, you wind up not having one issue, you wind up having multiple issues. All right, more site mistakes, using GoDaddy, using Google, using Yahoo to build your site. Site builders, think about it this way. I'm telling you in 30 days from now what I tell you about web could be totally different. However, GoDaddy's website tonight system, Yahoo Site Builder, Google's Site Builder. These are applications that were built years and years and years ago to give you the ability. Another great one is Intuit's website builder. It should stick to doing financials. However, they use it as a lead gen. So you have to think about, why did they make that tool? It's a simple tool for them to make a small monthly fee from a whole bunch of people that typically don't know any better. So if you think about, why did the business do that? Let me give you another example. Network marketing companies, real estate companies, same thing with them. They make money on replicated websites. If they can sell you a website that has no value, it took them 2 sites to make a copy of it, and put your name and a picture in a div container at the top, and they get to charge you $50 a month or $100 a month or $12 a month, whatever that is a great business model for them. Is it what you need? Absolutely not. All right, industry specific. Typically, if you have somebody approaching you and they are an industry specific sales professional, and they build websites for chiropractors, for HVAC companies, for dentists, for orthodontics, and so forth. That means that they used to be in their industry. They know all the bells and whistles that are going to make you ooh and ah and be excited. However, they don't know what's most important, and that is Google and web and search and social and so forth, and mobile and all of the things, and video, and how you need to leverage all of these things, which I absolutely love their business model. I love the fact they can make one platform and they can sell it to 1 million people. Please trust that I value that business model and have a lot of respect for it. I'm speaking more to a business owner. If you're approached by somebody and they sell industry-specific websites, I would say be leery. You really need to check into, you need to look at many different sites that they have, making sure that they're not replicated sites, they're not any of the things we've seen, they don't have duplicate content, and so forth. All right, next. Responsive CMS. So let me move into content management systems. CMS, WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. These are CMS systems. You also have other kinds of coding, such as Microsoft.NET. MySQL is a database framework, which is the backbone of WordPress, and so forth. So, understanding the difference between different content management systems, I will tell you most shops specialize in a specific type of content management system. So they're a Joomla programmer, and I promise you they're going to tell you Joomla is the best. That's because that's what they know how to code in. They're a Drupal coder. That's what they know how to code in. I'm impartial because I'm not a coder, but I do understand WordPress from all my research at this point today. WordPress is the largest content management system in the world. There are more hooks, actions, and filters, plugins, and code libraries available. There are more developers in the developer community for WordPress than any other platform in the world. So here's my logic. If you are going to leverage an existing, which let me throw this out there, there is no need for anyone, any day, any way, shape, or form to have to code a website from scratch today. So if that's ever been proposed, run. There are too many pre-existing tools you can leverage. WordPress was designed with the philosophy of hooks, actions, and filters, which means it allows extensions to be plugged in and it allows it to manipulate. An incredible coder that knows MySQL database, understands global style sheets or CSS, knows how to code in HTML, understands how to code PHP, JavaScript, Java, and so forth, is going to be an incredibly strong WordPress developer. So if I have millions of dollars of resources that are already into a framework, and when I buy a website, I want to say I want to have that framework that already has millions of dollars put into it, and I'm going to pay a professional to make it look like I want it to, make it perform like I want it to, and so forth. That is a very, very smart decision. But everything boils down to making sure that you have the right strategy, the right coach that can help walk you through the process. The great part about websites is they're basically built of the same elements. So you have your navigation, you have a title, you have a slider, you have call to actions, you have banner ads, you have sidebars on the right, you have sidebar or images on the left, you have a body area which is full of text, and you have a footer. Depending on what you do with these things, every area has a different vantage point when it comes to how to use it. So typically when you have a consumer come to your website, you have 3 different kind of consumers that are coming there. You have your instant decision makers, you have your analytical individuals, and you have fence sitters. So I'll give you an example. I'm currently revamping, which I'm way overdue, but currently revamping the JenniferBagley.com website. So this is our development site. It's not done yet, but it's close. So I wanted you to look at, in the slide that I just showed you, these elements: navigation slider, text areas, sidebar, and footer. And then let's move over to this. So we have 2 levels of navigation, header area. The top right corner is the more eyeballs go to this area. You can put heat maps, install heat maps, not getting too technical, over websites that allow you to see where the mouse travels, where people spend the most amount of time. This is critical. So making sure you have a phone number, making sure you have a call to action. That's why if you go to a banking site, your logins are in the top right corner and so forth. Making sure you really use this space in the top right corner is important. Your primary navigation. We're building out the different sliders right now. They're just placeholders. Immediately, so for your instant decision maker, you want to make sure that they instantly can make a decision. Let me give you some examples real quick. Let's go to let's go see. I'm going to go randomly pick sites. So again, remember earlier I said websites are built in layers, and the first layer is you're going to do a wireframe and a design, which is, this is a designer. They're going to be building a design in Photoshop. You're going to get an image, which is a graphical representation or a wireframe of what the website would look like once it's developed. Typically, a developer is going to have a thumbs up, 100% approval on the design. The last thing you ever want to do is do the design, put it into development, and then make design changes in development. That absolutely can be extremely expensive, and rework is horrible. So, giving you an example. Right here, if you look at this section, again, top right section, leverage it. Instantly, I want them to be able to contact us, call us, email us, get an estimate, know where our address is. I don't want anybody to come to a site, especially if you have a physical location, and have to wonder or search around. I know all of you have been to a site, you needed an address or a phone number, or you needed to be able to contact them, and you had to search or hunt. So we definitely don't want to do that. The next section is, again, we're in the more analytical thinkers. The further you go down a website, the more you move into analytical, and the further down you go on a website, the more you're going to move into your fence sitters. And fence sitters, you can always leave them in a blog. You can always leave them on your social media sites. And then you have, of course, the footer area. How are you leveraging the footer area of your website? Every piece of your website is real estate that you have the ability to absolutely master. I'm going to go pull up, this is a great example. I think they're already out of design. They're in final development. Let's go into Business Resource Guy. Richard Hassman, I wonder if Richard is with us.
He's with us.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go over, oh, this is the About page. This is a totally different page. That is great. I didn't even know they finished that. Okay, so our designers just finished the home page. So just some things, and if we could do, let's see here, before and after. Let's see if it's site. So this is just very quick. Obviously, this is you know, a do-it-yourself, very quick. About us, we drop into a blog, and so forth. So here's the difference. Now, top right corner, used very, very quick. I need an email, I need a phone number, instantly. I need a consultation, instantly. Get somebody into your list so you can remarket if they're a fence sitter. subscribe to the newsletter, making sure without a question they understand exactly what you sell, credit card processing, POS systems, e-commerce, merchant cash advances, gift and loyalty. Who am I? I want to start saving money. I already accept credit cards. I want to start accepting credit cards. Great. Get a quote. Why should you choose us? Your validators. Stick around. The site comes with new content regularly. What our clients say, another validator. Boom. You can drop them into your social media sites and call to actions, and a really good use of footer. Again, call to action. So the footer's not full of junk. I want your email. I want you to connect with me on my social sites. Call me or email me instantly. So just kind of giving you guys some ideas. These are, again, Photoshop designs. Let's see. How about dynamic? So I showed you guys dynamic entertainment recently. Where did I close her site entirely? I think I did. All right, let me pull this up so you can see the difference. This is the site, if you remember, it wasn't hers, that they actually embedded her URL or did a complete mask on her URL over the site, but this is our current site. So if you think about how we're using it, now I'm going to let you go through. Kind of think about it. Look at the design. We do have a call to action we'd have to register for. Not necessarily the most welcoming for a web inquiry. A lot of content. All right, and then let's go move through. Here's the new design. So an instant call us, contact us now. Very quickly, you know exactly what she does. DJ parties, photo booths, lighting, balloon decor. Come back to the site. We have recent posts on a regular basis. I need a free consultation. Submit it now. Versus web inquiry, upcoming events, photo galleries, our service areas. We can add some additional links. Our testimonials. We have an ebook, which if somebody puts in their information, they get the ebook. Leveraging video. Again, our newsletter sign up, dropping them into our social media accounts. All awards and so forth, and then again a really good use of our footer area. So I want you guys, really think about when you're getting a website done. The first thing is the analysis. In our environment, we have two different programs that we do. We have an accelerated program and we have our traditional program. Our traditional program is actually more expensive. Our accelerated program is less. But it allows us to literally, so for example, in our accelerated program, we spend a tremendous amount of time in the analysis and the specifications. So a few hours, 4 or 5 resources from our team all together, designing what does the user interface need to look like? What are all the elements? So what are the navigation structures? What are the services that you sell? Who are your buyers that are coming to the site? I have a good example. Let me go back. WeScan. I think WeScan just moved into development. Let's pull theirs. So WeScan files. So I'll give you an example. Again, who do you sell to? So we have phone number, we have an estimate. We have each of their primaries. So notice home, about, support, services, solutions, document scanning, products, blog, contact us. Get a quote. Again, welcome, document scanning, photo imaging, wide format, document management solutions. Very quickly, you can choose what industry are you in, what solutions are you looking for, what kind of documents do you have. So you have to get into the brain of the customer. Next is, what are the service areas? So you can really dive in. You want to connect with somebody when they're coming to the website so instantly they know what industries do you serve. And then again, we have events. Now this is great. Blake doesn't have events. WeScan Files doesn't have events, but it gives him a tool to be able to tell his clients, hey, if you have an event you'd like to promote, I'd love to help promote it on my website. It also somebody to come back. So when they come back to the website, they can come to business trainings. They can come to marketing trainings. So Blake has the ability to leverage an event system. Featured blog post. Again, this is saying we have new content on our site on a regular basis. Blake has a mobile app. I think he's had it for less than like 30 days. He has over 100 downloads. He's doing an incredible job with his new mobile app. I think we I think we finished building it about a month ago, maybe 2. Featured galleries, ebook. Again, you're trying to collect information. How many ways on your website are you converting? And again, every personality type is different. If you're an instant decision maker, you're looking at this site and saying, I'm not going to leave the top half. That's great. That's your personality. But for someone who's more analytical thinker, they're going to dive further into it. And for your undecisive fence sitters, they're going to dive all the way down to the bottom. And they might just hang out on a social media site and so forth. Then we have featured customers. Again, sign up for a newsletter. Again, you're using extremely good, you're using the real estate below to have them connect with you on a permanent basis. Download our mobile app, you're being put in their pockets. Download our ebook, they're going into Blake's notice. I love this. The 10 things you must know about document management systems before you decide. In the HVAC world, the 10 things you should know about an HVAC contractor before you hire. So think about what can you give somebody that's going to help educate them. You guys, the thing is, you do it all day long. You sit and you have your sales presentation, and in your sales presentation, you tell them the things they should avoid, the things they should look for, what the value proposition is, and so forth. Why not take that content, drop it into an ebook, and allow somebody that comes to the site and they're just visiting to download it and get educated before you even have that sales presentation, and then get a quote. So Blake, fantastic job on your new design. I know I saw all the different sliders. Each slider represents a different area of the business with very, very clear. This is, Blake is a good example. Avcor Health is a good example. DFW Security is a great example. Janus is a great example. Right now, I'm loving this new site. This is going to absolutely be fantastic. I will tell you, and Blake and I had this conversation yesterday as he was here scanning documents for us, but I will tell you, a year from now, I'm going to rip this site to shreds because stuff is going to change. Things are going to change. If you have a website that's 12 months old, you should be looking at how can I improve it, how can I make this thing. The way that you achieve accelerated results is to research, implement, evaluate, refine, do it again. Research, implement, evaluate, refine, do it again. The goal is, I think Kathy and Michael and I were sitting around the table last night and we were talking about a gold sifter, right? If you're trying to mine for gold, you're constantly sifting out looking for better nuggets. Well, you have to figure out in your business, how can you get more leads with less sand, less effort? It is not enough to have a ton of people come to your site, a ton of leads and opportunities, and then not close. So you constantly should be refining your mission, refining your message. When we get into the branding environment and the video series, in the 12-step roadmap series, we're really going to be talking about how to leverage. You got to get to the point where instantly you can come up with marketing. So you'll notice in everything that I do, I have tons and tons and tons of images that are pre-crafted and designed images that represent different areas of my business. If I need a header, I've got logos, I've got headers, I've got banners, these banners can be used on Facebooks, they can be used on websites and sliders, they can be used in presentations and video. The more you have in your back pocket to market your business with, the faster you can implement. I will tell you, for this presentation, I started about 15 minutes before we needed to get rolling on other calls. However, I can put together a PowerPoint presentation in minutes because all of these things are already built and designed. They're inside my websites and so forth. So strategy and coaching critical. As you go through, these are the stages: the analysis, the specifications, design and development, content writing. If somebody asks me how long does it take you to build a website, I'll say it takes me 30 days. I don't know how long it takes you. And they're, huh? Because this is where most people get caught up, which is why we just did 4 series session on content writing. Content on your website, content on your message boards, content on your social media, and your video, your messaging, your sliders, and so forth. Critical. This is a lot of times where people get stuck, which unfortunately causes massive delays when it comes to web development. If we don't need content from you and all we can do is make a website with pretty pictures, trust me, we'd have a website done in 4 days with a team of 6. And working 24/7. However, when it comes into needing content from clients, you're in a different situation. So then, this is the order again: analysis, specifications, design and development, then content writing. Finally, when we have that, then we have to do finalize the coding, your testing. Then you get into, what am I going to do? A lot of times I'll have somebody that builds a website, they throw it up, they have it on a maintenance and update program, but they forgot about step number 7, which is promotion. Promotion is social media, search, mobile, and video, and so forth. So this promotion element is really, really critical. If you go straight from testing and going live into a maintenance and update program, you're probably not going to have a lot of success with your site. All right, next. Websites have got to be mobile. There are 2 ways to go mobile. First is your website needs to be responsive, which means it reshapes itself, it shapeshifts itself on a mobile device so that it maintains aspect ratio and is still viewable. The last thing you want to do is have your website show up in the palm of somebody's hands, them squinting and using 2 little fingers to try and expand it far enough to be able to click on a phone number or contact us. So you must have a responsive website. Again, if you had your website built a year or 2 ago, you're probably an HTML5 or a mobile design site. That's not the same as responsive. So it's time to get that updated. The second way you can put your site in your client's hands or be mobile is a mobile app. Totally different. The last thing you want to do is have your existing customers going off onto Google and Googling your name or your products or your services because they're likely to find your competitors. So it's extremely critical that you have a mobile app in your back pocket of all of your clients. It is more important to have your mobile app in your existing and past customers' hands and a responsive website in your prospects, leads, and opportunities' hands. All right, next, we've talked a little bit about graphics, designing, and branding. Of course, this is critical. The visual appearance of your site is either going to look like you did it, your cousin did it, an amateur web person did it, someone in your networking group did it, or a professional company did. If this is your representation of your business to the world, it is critical that design is part of the plan. I will tell you, it took me, I'm more of a technical brain, and it took me years to understand how critical graphics design was to the project. And the reason I was thrown off on it was in the beginning I always saw websites that were beautifully designed but poorly coded, so they had no traffic, they generated no leads, no opportunities, and made the company no money. So I absolutely almost went the complete opposite in the early years of CI Web Group, saying that design is not important, that you need to worry about what's, if this is a glacier, you need to worry about what's under the water, the coding, the infrastructure, the database, the content, the architecture, the SEO, and so forth, and that design was just fluff. And I'll tell you, for my own company, I designed my own logos and all of those things all the way until probably 4 years ago. And I absolutely was able to prove my philosophy was correct in a few elements. I had horribly designed websites, beautifully coded websites, incredibly great content, incredibly great traffic, conversions were good. However, the difference, I have so many design people that I owe apologies to because they tried to convince me I had to do design too. To me, it was always about a consumer and what kind of a budget you have. And if you have a small budget, then go with development and architecture and framework first, and you're going to have to come back to design in the future. And that's still the case sometimes. However, it's been my goal over the last 2 years to do everything in my power to make a custom designed site with incredible development and infrastructure affordable to mid-sized companies, small companies, and so forth. So graphics and branding, very, very critical. The difference between a beautiful website and a homemade one is drastic when it comes to how many leads and opportunities and what the conversion. All right, SEO. We're going to dive into SEO in future sessions. Same thing, social media, search engine optimization, social media, graphics, branding. All of these are elements of a website, so I wanted to make sure they were included. Okay, first and foremost, let me grab, I've got some sites that you guys gave me you wanted to look at. So let's start with those. So Miss Sophia, first site, so let's go through. First thing I'm going to do is inspect element. And it's a WordPress website using a free theme. All right. Page structure. So from a design standpoint, the theme is probably not helping a lot. It was actually, I thought initially that this might have been your navigation, and I didn't see a navigation, and then now I see that it's right aligned. There definitely needs to be some definition in between your navigation. Some other little things. Social media needs to be integrated into the website in a few different ways. One, I need to be able to follow you. So I should see some kind of links on here. And I just saw this. You want to tell people what to do. You want to say connect with me on social media. You'll notice here I show up, that's my little phrase, show up, suit up, and participate. And very boldly I have the social media links. So that'll help. And then also you want people to be able to share your content with their network. So let's dive into the blog real quick. Now this would take quite a bit of time to really review and to go over, because I would need to understand who is your primary target audience. Is your primary goal to sell books? You know, we would definitely need to dive into that. Now the blog, something is going on the site as far as the speed of it, but lots of video. I love that you have Facebook's SEO commenting. You can go ahead and turn off the WordPress commenting. And you have the share link installed. Do me a favor on this site, I would absolutely, if you have the ability to, I would have the site professionally designed versus this is just a configured theme. There's no design to it. So that would be starter kind of number one. And then you know, really thinking about who are you trying to talk to, what are you trying to communicate to them, and making sure that it's very clear in an instant when somebody comes to the site, what do you want to gain? Now, I would have to go through quite a bit of research to be able to get an idea on your SEO and so forth on the site. So we have, oh, you have strategic acceleration, nice. So Amazon widgets inside. These are more, this is your affiliate sales page. Affiliate marketing that's a whole business model discussion that we would need to have. So I would say the biggest thing with this is, you know, to jump on the phone with the consultant, go through strategically, who do you want to target, how do you make money. You know, I tell people my ideal client, the last, it's a PDOM, and the M is they have money to make and money to spend, which it's important that there's a really good business model sitting behind a great website as well. I love that you're a DNet. I've heard people talking about the content that you post and raving about the content that you post. So very smart to have your content syndicated through the DNet platform as well. Very smart. All right, let me just double check on other sites. Okay, let's look in bewealthy.com. We have a new guest. Let me grab this one.
Dr. Austin's container.
Do me a, oh, here, let's see here. Missing a W.
It's actually.
All right, lookandbewealthy.com. Fantastic. I know you. I've seen you recently. All right, so again, it has to go down to what your goal is. So I would need to really understand your business model and where you want to go with your business model and what is your ultimate goal. Let me go through. So this is a Wix website. You're using the div elements within it. So from your search engine optimization or from your site title, building a wealthy home-based business is your primary goal. My guess is this is, number one is this is your tool to build a team for your Avon business. Full-time team. shop or sell. And it's a little difficult for the network marketing industry to figure out, are you trying to build a team, or are you trying to sell your products and services? So there has to be a very clear definition, and a very those need to be split so to be able to get the best results that you can. Wix is not going to give you what you need as from a marketing standpoint, but it's easy to put together a website and so forth. If we were to dive into SEO, as far as how the site's laid out, my story, this is more like a website that you're out working in the network and you're sending people back to the site, and you want them to understand a little bit of information about you and so forth. But the site is definitely not designed for somebody who you haven't talked to first. So Google's not going to be truly indexing the site and dropping it into the format. Also, let me throw this out there. The site URL, Look and Be Wealthy, you know, this would be a great opportunity. I can imagine, I should say, from a design standpoint, what would happen if we were to create a custom design that really made it feel wealthy. And that's definitely, I would get you into a WordPress environment. I would do a complete overhaul from a design standpoint. And when somebody gets to the site, instead of an introduction about you, I would say, are you interested in starting a business, or are you interested in shopping? Or if you are doing more of a total kind of makeover and appearance and so forth, then we could really change it up to get more interest. But remember, when somebody comes to the site, you have to appeal to their needs versus what you want them to hear. And so instantly when they get here, what do they want to do? Do they want to shop? And so forth. And so you want to clearly break that out. All right, let me, let's see here. Richard Hassman, let me grab, and you guys, it is 12:01, so I know we're over the hour. I'm going to just go through a couple more sites real quick. If you have to go, I totally understand. If you have another site. All right, this is a competitor site. Right off the bat, I would say my visual appearances, they did this themselves or used a template. It is in divs. They have analytics. The title of their site is Home Integrity Merchant Solutions. They have no description, no keywords, no SEO. New Wave Industries. My guess is this company, New Wave Industries, built their website for them, which they have more SEO in their anchor text and author text than the company that they built it for does. So if this is a competitor site, let's go in. Industry Solutions. Look at this kind of stuff. Flat HTML site. This is junk. I don't mean to be mean, but Google doesn't understand what Industry Solutions is. There's no hyphen. There's no spacing in between these. Industry Solutions mean nothing. So think about the titles of these pages and somebody searching. No one searches for home. No one searches for About Us. They don't even know what that is. Or Industry Solutions, too generic. Education, too generic. Contact info, too generic. Opportunities, too generic. Get started. This site has no value other than, again, possibly a landing page at best. Online brochure. Okay, Living Well Dallas. Let me grab this one. And you guys, a full consultation is us talking for an hour. I'm doing a very, very fast review. Okay, design better, definitely. I love the fact when you get here, free consultation, schedule online, business hours, join our newsletter. Again, those are very clear call to actions. The most comprehensive integrative center in Dallas. Get started on your path to living well. That is okay. This good shot, way too small, very difficult to read, and I'm on a massive screen, a huge Mac. Okay, so hovering over services, home page, junk page, about us, junk page, provider finder, junk page. Now, here's where the meat of their site comes in: clinical nutrition, chiropractic, acupuncture, weight loss program, massage and body work, Be Well. Let's click on one of these and see what they have going on in their permalinks. So they have it titled under services. Not necessary. They didn't have to subfolder this. It can just be Living Well in Dallas, clinical nutrition. Let me inspect element on this page. Header, Site title is Living Well Dallas. Clinical Nutrition is the primary title. They have everything into their RSS feed, which is good. It's a WordPress website. Decently coded, basic optimization. So they should have, it is set to index and follow. We talked about that early on. That's weird. They've done that much and they didn't put in, they should have description, key phrases. They could have used tags and categories to sort those, and that would have gave them more SEO value. I will say this, the infrastructure behind this site is done very well. From a design standpoint, once you get into, so your call to actions here, when you start getting into other areas of the site, is basically connect with us on our social media site. The phone number is too small. I'm not even going to call it as a call to action. The social icons are too small. Can't really dive into those. This is a no-go. This actually, I can barely see this, but this is request an appointment. These are call to actions, but these are not call to actions. These are just hyperlinks. It says newsletter, sign up, videos, and podcasts. These should be pictures, graphics, images. If you have, especially videos and podcasts, I mean, that's huge. You should say, it should be a gorgeous image over here that says check out. So some just basic graphics work. They don't even need a new website. If I was in their shoes, I would be spending my time simply on design and graphics to really make this thing stand out and be brought to light. All right. Sophia, let's see here. Sophia, I love it. You said, interesting about Google Site Builder since they provide us all the SEO guidelines. Yeah. All the simple ones. It's Google's is to create as many free tools as possible. Website builders, Google Docs, Google Analytics, Google News, Google Reader, Google QR codes, goo.gl, Google Analytics, Google Webmaster. I mean, Google's job is to create thousands of tools to keep you on that search, and the only thing Google cares about is paid advertising and making sure that it presents the best possible search results to its consumers who are searching in a paid environment and in an organic environment. So without getting too detailed on it, that's not its core objective. Its core objective is providing a massive suite of tools that keeps you there. All right. Okay, let me grab this one. Denise, I'll definitely grab yours. I'm 7 minutes over, but I want to make sure I get these sites. So, okay, so first things first. Again, we're looking at the site, Women Building Wealth Globally. I want to see this thing I wanted to say banging. I don't know if I should say that, but I have a 15-year-old, so he would say banging. I mean, like, I want to see this site hot, hot, hot. As soon as I come here, this is about the person that's here, and if they want to feel wealthy and build wealth, they've got to feel it. And so design is going to be very, very important. I can tell this, I can tell this was either a Dreamweaver or a front page website, but it's a flat-coded HTML site just from initial view. Let's go into the name. So this is a website creator. I build, so this is just like Dreamweaver, or excuse me, just like Google or GoDaddy. This is another website building tool. It's titled Women Building Wealth Globally. No SEO outside of that. Let's dive into, you'll notice everything is in these, everything is a fixed position. When you get into these kind of drag and drop sites, these are, I can't see any content. What I need to be able to really get into the content, but you'll notice no matter how far I go down, I finally just got into a list item, but I had to drill down like 30 items into it to get into WBG mission and so forth. I'm going to dry into this. This word is Denise. This one is, and it's got these ampersand things, which this will hurt your SEO. The next event. Drilling into, and this is your page navigation. So a list item for page navigation absolutely is going to be difficult for Google to be able to review. Hey, it's me. Fantastic. So, look, I want when I come to this site, I gotta tell me what to do. So here, if this was me, I would have an amazing design. I would have, view our events, check out our past photos, event photo gallery, video gallery, with all your videos. I would have, are you interested in making money? Are you interested in getting training? Are you interested in building a business? So think about if you had to break this down into specific calls to actions, what are those calls to actions? We definitely have to speak specifically to, are you interested in becoming a sponsor? Instead of testimony, say what our members are saying or what our attendees are saying about us. And then you have video testimonials or you have a rotator and so forth. But really, this is women building wealth globally. Let's make this thing look like $1 million. And that is, this is your first and most important representation to the organization. I'm going to say this on the side. Denise, I've heard you speak. You are an incredible, incredible speaker, incredible presenter. And I'm picky. So I want the visual and physical appearance of you and your message and your presentation style. I want it to flow through to all of your marketing efforts, web, search, social, mobile, video, and so forth. Everything has got to be very, very, very consistent. So that would be the biggest thing. You need to be in a WordPress environment. Now for you have a dynamic business with lots of moving parts, doing events constantly, people are registering and so forth. So if you had an integrated blog on this site, if it was in WordPress, you'd have an RSS feed, which means we could literally set it up to where every time you posted content, we automatically shoot it out to all of your different Facebook pages. You guys that can't afford multiple sites, but you have multiple different, so we looked at one earlier where part of your business is you want to build an organization and part of your business is you have products and services you're taking to market. You got to be able to separate those. So if you can't, from a financial standpoint, separate them on your website, then you guys can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Facebook fan pages, and every fan page is search engine optimized and content. So let's say you had one website and a blog category on that site was specifically focused on one area. So Dr. Ozzy, you could do this. You could have one on nutrition, one on weight. I don't know. I almost said neurons, like Jimmy Neutron or something. Okay, so you can have. You don't have to have 5 websites, but you can have 5 fan pages, and every fan page can get the content from a different area of your blog, a different category. So if you're on our marketing program and you blog into the category called nutrition, or you blog into the category called weight loss, or you blog, Denise, into the category called events, we can post that content to one particular Facebook account. Now, Facebook is, for the first time in history, taking well-optimized blog content that's posted on Facebook, and it's actually outperforming websites as far as people searching for something specific. So it's so hard not to talk about everything. But first things first, it's hard to have, you're not going to have an effective social media marketing plan if you have a website that's not built right. It's going to be very difficult to have an SEO plan if your website's not built right. It's going to be very difficult to leverage video if your website's not built right. So everything starts with take care of your home. You guys, this is your baby. This is your house. You own this. So my recommendation is really, really take time to get it right. And keep taking time to get it right. This thing is going to continue to perform. I am way over time. We have 3 more sessions this. We have 3 more sessions this month on web. You guys, don't forget, if you go to 12steproadmap.com, click on webinars. You can register, of course, for the next sessions. You can also ask questions on our Facebook fan page. I wanted to end with this. We have a couple ways to go through life. This is my father and my son. Terrell, that got on this roller coaster ride. I asked my dad, I was like, are you crazy? Are you not scared? He was like, no, I just chose to smile when I saw the camera. They absolutely had the same feeling in their inner gut. However, one person chose to make a different decision. The other one, my poor son, chose to look like that. So if you guys, If you need help or you want us to do a full-blown analysis on your site, please head over to crwebgroup.com, or you can go 12-step roadmap, click on free consultation, and we will jump on the phone and help give you guys a guide, whether you can do something now or you're just planning for the future. Either way, absolutely okay, but get started, review and analyze and so forth. And again, this is a lifestyle, not a project. So just because you do it this year doesn't mean you have to stop. I have probably rebuilt my own websites at least 15 times since I started the business. So, and I love them for a maximum of 12 to 14 months. 18 months, they got to go. All right, with that, you guys have a fantastic week. Make it productive. Thank you so much. Please post on our social media sites if you have questions, if you have thoughts or comments. I'll help get you more exposure if you guys show up, suit up, and participate. Jump on my Facebook pages. That's me. That's really me. My other social media sites might be my team members that are answering you, but I would love to hear from you, ask questions, engage, and let's make this happen. 2014 is a fantastic year. Let's keep headed the right direction. Thanks again.